Greetings, my esteemed colleagues and wonderful deans of the Midwest Evangel Church Plant Schools. I am very excited for our first church plant school here in Wichita, and I believe the first one in the Midwest. Next week, we are getting excited for 3 teams to be coming to our church plant school, 2 from Wichita and 1 from Chicago. And we are just very excited getting everything together. We have a lot of work to do yet, but we've gone a long way and we've accomplished a lot so far. I just want to do a little bit of a resource video for you to cover a few things that might be helpful to you as you prepare for your Evangel Church Plant School. More than anything, I hope that we can encourage and pray for each other, share resources, and really be united as we seek to prepare and train church plant teams to go into our inner city neighborhoods where they will declare and live out and just share the love of Christ with those that they come in contact with. What an opportunity we have. Praise God. So just a few things that we've been doing that you might find helpful as you prepare for your church plant school. The first thing that I thought I might cover is just to talk about the role that I have felt that I should play as the head dean of our church plant school. There's really 4 things that I believe that I need to be doing in order to prepare and lead our team through for the Evangel Church Plant School, and then lead us through the school itself, and then also the follow-up. The first thing is to really lead the project team well. And for us, the project team is a project manager, a teacher, or a person who's focused on the teaching elements, the seminars, the devotionals, and also some of the PowerPoints that go with that. And then lastly, someone focused on assessment that we do before the school begins. So those are kind of the 3 roles that we have with me leading the team. Secondly, I feel like I really need to help prepare the coaches for the training and or for the school, and lead them through the school's assessment of the teams. So I myself am not going to be coaching, but rather I'm going to put my focus into preparing the coaches so that they can assess and coach very well the teams that they are assigned to. We have 6 coaches. We have a primary coach and a secondary coach. We believe that gives an opportunity for coaches to come in who may not be real familiar with coaching but have a heart to do it. So as a secondary coach, they don't have the responsibility as a primary coach, but they still can learn. A primary coach is someone who has ideally already led a church plant and has some experience in that, preferably even has coached before, but that's not a necessity. And then a secondary coach, we're hoping that they would just have some church planting experience that they could bring in as they help coach as well. The third thing that I really feel like I need to do is to MC the conference and make sure that it runs smoothly. So I have went through in detail and will continue to go through and prepare all the elements of emceeing it from beginning to end so that I can know what's coming up and be preparing the teams and helping them as they go from session to session, and then the activities and the presentations and all that. The last thing that I need to prepare for are the sessions that I teach, and I will be teaching a few of them. But not all of them, thank goodness. We have a great team here of presenters that I will lean on to do a good bit of the presentation for the school. So those are the 4 roles that I do as head dean. In terms of the school itself, or leading up to the school, I want to remind you of the ABCs of church planting, of Evangel that we talked about: assessment, boot camp, and coaching. But before we start with the ABCs, I kind of felt like we needed to really set up the project. And so we really start with, I guess, a P, and that'd be project planning, because once you set that up and have a team ready to begin preparing all the elements of the school, you'll have a much better success at running having a smoothly run school. So we have a project manager, and Adria Medlin has been someone who's done that before. She has experience in managing projects and events, and so she's done a very excellent job at helping us set up a good system. There's a few things that we have used in the project planning that have really helped us. 3 things in particular. Number 1 is Dropbox. We have been able to share files and folders through Dropbox very easily, so that once one of us types up a document, and we can all edit it and see the changes are immediate in Dropbox, and so we can share files very effectively. The next thing is Smartsheet. Smartsheet is a wonderful tool, and it's basically project management software that you can use, and it's just very intuitive, and so it helps you track everything down to the smallest detail. And so we have a Smartsheet set up, and then the last thing we've used is Eventbrite for our registration for our school. And we've tried out a couple different ones, and we felt like Eventbrite was the best one for us. So those are the few things that we have done. And by the way, Eventbrite, we are doing our invitations for the school. We send out an email to those church planters that we know are interested in the school, and then if they have further interest, and as they go through some of the assessment steps and we feel like they're ready for the school, then we send them a link for the Eventbrite registration, and then they and their team can register for the school. So it's not really open invitation to anyone. They need to be sent the link to register for the school, and that way we know who is registering, and we're comfortable and ready for them to register as a church plant team coming into Evangel. So that's that. We also have set project meetings in place, and so those are important just to make sure everybody's on the same page. You coordinate assignments and everything, so pretty basic thing there. We've also developed a brochure, and our brochure, it looks like this, and it's a trifold brochure, and it just gives an overview of the church plant school, and then it has our pricing as well, and it's got then as well an insert for anyone who would want to help give and help scholarship a church plant team for our Evangel Church Plant School. And so the brochure itself went out to local pastors and missions leaders so that they could have an opportunity to give to the school, but also we sent them to the church plant teams and the church planters themselves who were interested in the school, so that they could have just some tangible information as to what the school looked like in terms of overview. We also did a lunch and learn, as we called it, and this was an event where we just brought people here, had a lunch, and told them about Evangel. I used the church plant, or the Evangel, it's called Intro to Evangel CPS 2016. It's a PowerPoint that Hank Voss gave to us after the Dean training. And so that is, and I modified that a little bit, and so that worked very well in terms of introducing Evangel to people who had never really heard of it. So that's the brochure. Now, in leading up to the school, we've also done a lot to track with the teams who are coming. And so likely there's a lot that happens between identifying a potential church planter and then actually getting them to the point of being signed up. What we've seen is there's a lot of ups and downs and curves in the road, and the enemy is always obviously working hard not to get them here. But we also want to make sure that we have the right teams here who are prepared for the training, because the training will be intense, and there will be a lot of information and a lot expected of them as they begin to plan and prepare their plan for church planting. So then the A of assessment begins, and we've done a few things to assess. We have sent them a church planter profile link, and this is a free thing that you can go on to. If you go to www.churchplanterprofile.com or org, it's a free test that they can take, and this is for the church planter, the head church planter, to take, and just to get a kind of just a little bit of an awareness of where they are in terms of their church planting calling. It has them answer about 80 questions as to their experience in church planting and just if they're ready for it or not. We also are going to begin, I don't know if we're able to do this fully with our first church plant school, but we'd like to get the SOI, which is Styles of Influence, and it helps the church plant team understand each other better. It gives you a test, about an 80-question test that's about $25, as to what their styles of influence are and how they will work as a team, and who's the most natural leader on the team, and who does, just all the styles of influence that they have. So we're hoping that will be a good assessment tool as well. As we get ready for our school itself next week, we were putting a lot of emphasis into getting our coaches ready, and so I've put a lot of work into that. We have a coaching meeting tomorrow, so I'm setting up a coaching meeting before the school itself to prepare and train the coaches, and so we will give them kind of an overview of what it means to coach. I'll be leading them through some coaching resources that were given to us at the Dean training, and going over the overview of coaching, a roster, going over the assignments that they will have, and then the main thing that I'll be doing is going through an outline that Ryan Carter put together for us, and also Dale DeWerf, who is on our team, and they went through all the coaching resources and put together this really simple outline of coaching training. And so I'm going to take them through a little bit of training just to kind of get them ready and prepare them for what will happen next week. For the actual school itself then, which we call boot camp, if you look at page 121 in the Dean Handbook, it gives you the main components that you need for your school. That's a good thing to start with, so that you make sure that you have everything in place. Again, a project manager handles all the details of that, and Adria's done a fantastic job for us. And again, just as I prepare for the school, I just try to think through it from beginning to end in preparation for our school. And then as we end the school, and as we hopefully get teams chartered, I'm beginning to think about what happens after Evangel. And so once they get the charter signed and we have the commissioning service, then we will begin a one-year process of quarterly reviews for them to check up on. And so we'll just make sure that that happens. We're also working on some other aftercare type things that we can give to the church plant chartered schools, or to the church plant teams that have been chartered, and that can be a help and a resource to them. It might be discount to men's or women's retreat. It might be some specific training. It could just be a number of things that we're hoping to put together. So that's about it. Just a few other things. It's good to invite your staff or any associates maybe, or people that are volunteers. If you want to get people to buy into your school and get excited, then invite them to come and watch the school if that works for you. And we developed an email that we sent out here to all of our staff, letting them know about the school and if they wanted to attend portions of the school that they could attend. And also inviting key board members, donors, contacts, people that you think might just get excited about this school, either for helping to fund it or even helping get it going other places. It's good to bring them to the school or have them sit in on certain sessions. So hopefully this has been helpful to you, and I am praying a lot for you, and just so excited about what we have the opportunity to do in training church plant teams for the glory of God. And we love and appreciate you and what you're doing to advance the kingdom of God through the planting of healthy teams in the urban setting. God bless.